Hi guys, it's Nicola Bird here from alittlepeaceofmind.co.uk. I wanted to create this video for you today to share with you something that's so alive for me right now in this moment. It's a very small little something, but it makes a huge difference. And this has come into my life as a result of conversations and mentoring I've been doing with Elsie Spittle. And Elsie continually points in this direction, always has. It's in all of her teaching if you listen, but I never really heard it until I had this conversation with Elsie. And what Elsie points to is the amazing capacity we all have for noticing. So I'll give you my take on what I heard from Elsie, right, rather than try and paraphrase her. But what I heard was, what's really landed with me is that we all have this, we were all born with the capacity to notice. Right? None of us had to be taught that. There's none of us that could ever deny that we notice. We notice things, right? But what I'd never realized before is that noticing is consciousness bringing something into awareness through the medium of thought. So we're minding our own business and suddenly we notice the traffic in the street. Or we're minding our own business and we notice our child's crying upstairs. Or we're minding our own business and we notice that the music is just beautiful. Or that the sun is shining. We don't have to do it so number one, we don't have to do anything. We're in this conversation and we think, well, what do I have to do to get it? What do I have to do to get it? And when people say, no, you already have everything you need, you don't really appreciate it, but you can't not notice. You're born with it. No amount of practicing can make you notice. But what's really landed for me is this noticing, seeing that this noticing is a gift. It's something coming from nothing into form in our experience. That's the creative energy of thought. That's the spiritual nature of the principles moving through us, bringing new thought into awareness, into consciousness, new experiences into awareness, into consciousness. And the space that noticing arises from or represents or points to is pure consciousness. So when we notice something, that is a shift in consciousness and no more action required. We just let our lives unfold as a result of the noticing. So I'll share a very concrete example of this to try and explain what I mean. But what I've really noticed is that since that conversation with Elsie, that first conversation with Elsie about 3 weeks ago, my mind is a lot quieter, I notice. And because my mind is quieter, I'm noticing more. And I'm so appreciative of that fact. So I'm noticing, it sounds so cheesy, but on my dog walk, I'm noticing the birds singing. I'm noticing the feel of the cold on my skin. I'm noticing the flowers and all the petals starting to unfurl on all the trees. It's like there's a rich life just there waiting to be noticed. I noticed that my husband did his back in, and he normally does all of the cooking and looking after the kids and running them around everywhere while I'm working. And he did his back in, and I noticed how much I really enjoyed being fully in the mummy role again. And I noticed on my yoga mat my fast beating heart as a result of the coffee I'd been drinking. I never noticed that before because when our minds are busy, it's harder to notice. And then what I've noticed is over the last 3 weeks, I've been more connected to my kids. My days seem to be rearranging themselves so that I am cooking dinner every night. My schedule seems to be rearranging itself so I'm present more with them. I seem to be more interested in them. When I look back over the last 3 weeks, that noticing has unfolded in the world of form. So two things, I guess. This is maybe sounding a bit woo-woo, this video for you, but two things I'd love you to take from this, that the value of noticing is really underappreciated. It brings exactly what we need into awareness. Nothing we need to do. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that awesome? Like, I'm just awestruck by the intelligence of the design. That means we are built with that capacity right from the get-go. And then the second thing I want you to take away from it is, I have so much more respect for the quiet mind when I see that how more finely attuned my ability to notice is in a quieter mind. There's more mind in my state of mind. There's an aliveness to consciousness and noticing in a quiet mind. It's totally invisible to me when I'm running around in a busy mind, when I'm trying to figure this and that out, when I'm busy in activity and action all the time. Can be on my yoga mat thinking, figuring it out, thinking about what I'm doing next, figuring out what I did yesterday, figuring out whether I like yoga or not when I'm on the mat. And in a quiet mind, there's just, it's like simple ideas and wisdom bubble to the surface and get noticed. Now, they've always been trying to rise to the surface and come into awareness, but when we're so busy-minded, we just haven't noticed them before. Imagine if the only thing that was ours to do was to show up and notice. And then whatever we notice then starts unfolding in our lives. Like that simple, that fundamental, that much already installed. I'm doing one of my Tuesday talks. The upcoming Tuesday talk actually is on, not next Tuesday, Tuesday afterwards. If you're watching this video as it goes out live, I'm going to be exploring the quiet mind. And I hadn't had this insight before I created the name of that talk, and I noticed this is probably very much the direction we're going to be exploring. So if you've noticed this and it's caught your eye and you notice you're interested, then maybe consider coming along where we can deep dive into it in more detail. In the meantime, I really hope that I really hope this is as impactful for you as it was for me. Like I say, I've heard Elsie talk about this for years and years and years and years, but I'm really starting to realise it in my own life. I'll be back with another video next week. As always, please let me know through any of the social media channels that we have, like if this video is helpful for you, if it's resonating, if it changes anything for you, if you see anything new as a result of it. I always love to hear back from you. Okay, I'll be back again next week. Take care.